Welcome back to our Monday morning local business spotlight, where we introduce you to organizations and businesses making a difference here along the lakeshore. And this morning, we're talking music, dance, creativity, and helping people of all ages discover their talents they might not even know that they have. And joining us is Rick Burkholder, Executive Director of Avalon Music Academy in Holland. Rich, great to have you with us. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Dan, I am so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, Avalon Music School right here in Holland, Michigan. And for people who may have driven by Avalon but don't know much about it, tell us about Avalon Music Academy. What are you guys all about?
All right. So my mom, Ruth Burkholder, who was an elementary teacher at West Ottawa for years, she taught elementary music, and then she also taught some grade school stuff. When she retired, she started teaching kinder music, which is getting young kids involved in music.
Kinder music.
Music, yeah, anywhere from age 6 months to 4 years. So at that very same time, my wife started teaching ballet, and that was 22 years ago. Okay. They had a spot downtown in the local theater lobby, and basically the things just started growing, and we got a space out at the mall there near Dutch Village. We were there for nearly 20 years, and then we now have bought a building over on US 31 and 8th Street.
Right. See you when I drive by 8th and 31 all the time here now. And Avalon got started, how many years ago did you say?
22 years ago.
22 years ago. What was the vision for you when the school first opened?
So basically, the mission statement for Avalon is to provide a safe and nurturing environment for students to enjoy the arts. Everything from, like I mentioned, ballet to tap, jazz, hip hop, all those sorts of kinds of dances, as well as music lessons. And we do everything from, the popular instruments, drums, piano, ukulele, violin, guitar, bass, voice, all that kind of stuff. And we do have a theater program also.
Wow, did not know that. And what do you think, Rich, has been the most rewarding part so far, watching Avalon just develop over the years?
That's a great question. You know, as we go about our day to day and year to year, to me personally, it has always been a joy because I'm in charge of the music department. When we have a student who comes in and has one of those aha moments.
Okay.
You know, when they discover, hey, I can play this song, or I can do this drum beat. You know, it really takes me back to when I started playing music, and you know, it just feels like, they're magic. And I tell them, you know what? You are magic.
It's our local business spotlight again, Avalon Music Academy, with the executive director, Rich Burkholder, this morning. And Rich, a lot of people think music school, they immediately picture piano lessons, but Avalon offering, like you say, so much more. Walk us through some of the different instruments and the different programs that are available. You mentioned a few.
For sure. So we do private lessons in music. That's a half hour, same day and time each week. Some of the most popular instruments, of course, piano being the cornerstone of music, gives you a good overview. Some of the other popular ones are guitar and drums. And I think, especially with those two instruments, there's a lot of customization involved because we get students of all ages, and depending on if the student has some ideas about what they want to do going in, we can take those in different directions, like I said, to kind of customize their experience.
You know, Rich, it seems like the one thing that's really unique for you guys, students aren't just learning notes or dance steps. They're building confidence, discipline, performing in front of an audience. And how important is that experience?
There are so many things about music lessons that aren't really music, related. Yeah, they are some of those over, the bigger umbrella is, like you said, kids develop confidence. We see kids who walk in maybe a little bit shy, and hey, they master that one song, and suddenly they blossom. We offer a lot of recital and events during the year. We do our recitals at one of your friends, the Park Theater.
Park Theater, yeah.
In June, and we also do one Christmas time, as well as we sponsor an open mic night for kids at the Park Theater, which happens the third Sunday of the month.
Oh, you're a sponsor of that each month?
Yes.
Did not know. Okay.
Yeah. And besides that, as far as some of our events, we've had great fun singing the Star Spangled Banner at some sporting events.
Okay.
So the first one we did was at a Grand Rapids Griffins game at Van Andel Arena, which was in front of 11,000 people. And, speaking of that confidence afterwards, because we had 70 kids that performed, their confidence was through the roof. And they didn't have any of those nerves because they were a big group doing it.
Sure.
So we have another one of those coming up at LMCU Ballpark before a Whitecaps game on August 2nd, and have a big group coming in to do that too. So I guess to your point, yes, music provides so many benefits, and dance also.
Sure.
That reach far beyond just besides that specific activity.
Rich, let's say a parent listening right now this morning and their child has shown some interest in music, or maybe even an adult that's always wanted to learn an instrument. How easy is it to just get started here?
So as far as getting started with us, it's as easy as giving us a call or checking out our website. We've got online registration available, 616-834-0854, and it's Avalon Music Academy of Holland.com. Now, maybe getting to the question under the question there, as far as getting started and getting going, I often get the question, how long does it take?
Okay.
And I guess there's a couple things at play there. For me, for instance, music has been a lifelong event that has just continued throughout my life, and maybe that's one of the biggest gifts of it. But as far as seeing some progress and getting into being able to play some songs, you're talking about, maybe 3 months in, and gosh, you can go from there. We have students that come in and stay for 5-6 years also.
Okay. Wow, incredible. Now, do you offer introductory lessons, or maybe people are like, I'm not sure if I want drums or trumpet, or kind of help them choose?
Yes, we do have tours available. And once again, you can give us a call or shoot me an email, and we can take you through all the different rooms, the instruments we offer. You can try out a couple different things.
Okay.
For younger ones, there are some, specifics. For instance, with the guitar, sometimes younger students start on the ukulele just because there's only 4 strings.
Smaller.
It is, and it's got nylon strings, so it's easier to hold down, and that can kind of be an introduction, if you will, to the guitar.
I get it.
So all that entails is just give us a call, and we'll come in and get you all sorted out.
Rich, some folks would say, I can just go online. I can go on YouTube or learn something on an app. What makes Avalon different from YouTube?
I think it's personalization. I have taught guitar and piano and some other instruments for about 25 years now. And I think that the thing is, everyone is going to have their own personal challenges and their own personal questions. So being in a room with someone to show them that is going to outweigh something online. If I have a guitar student who's having a problem maybe holding some notes down or some issues with the fingering of a chord, for me to be there and show them that specifically to their challenge is really important.
Right. Rich, I got to say, I have to admit here, I have a little bit of a conflict of interest this morning because I recently joined your staff at Avalon, and somehow you trusted me enough to be one of your newest drum set instructors. But tell us why bringing experienced working musicians into your academy is so important.
I think it is for a number of reasons, and probably key among them. This goes to the history of me as a musician. Is all throughout school, and I got into the guitar seriously in my teen years. I always wanted to be a musician, and I think that back then, and this was the 80s, mind you. I would sometimes talk to people about that, and they would kind of look at me like, is that a job?
Yeah, right.
Is that a thing?
A real job
that you can do?
Yeah.
So therefore, having people that have done it and are doing it gives kids those ideas like, hey, this is actually a viable thing whether or not they want to see it as a career for later.
Yeah.
But having someone experienced in the nuts and bolts of music is important, not only from the instructor standpoint, but also too when kids get to that age where they're thinking about, I might like to be in a band, or how do you get a gig? Like things of that nature are good to learn also.
Rich, that's something Avalon really emphasizes, I know, matching students with instructors who not only know their instrument, but also know how to encourage the young ones.
Yes, our instructors, besides being a coach, are also, to me, the student's biggest cheerleader. Everyone learns at their own pace. Everyone has the capability to become a better musician, and having someone who's in your corner, cheering you on, and when you have those breakthroughs, to basically recognize them and celebrate them is one of the big angles of the school.
Rich, I got to admit, I just a couple of Wednesdays in, but I think I'm learning just about as much as the student here. Teaching kind of helps you refresh.
You're right. I think that sometimes in a musician's working day to day, it's nice to be able to go back and remember, hey, this is the joy that I had, and I think it renews the joy that you then feel and have.
Very cool. Rich, been great talking with you today. Whether somebody is 5 years old or 75 years old, never too late to discover a love of music or dance. And if you'd like to learn more about Avalon Music Academy, explore their programs, sign up for lessons, remind us on the website, the phone number, all that good stuff.
For sure. You can call a student hotline anytime, 616-834-0854. That website is avalonmusicacademyofholland.com, and the email is info@avalonmusicacademyofholland.com.
Awesome. You guys doing a great job over there, and we appreciate you coming in this morning. Rich Burkholder, again, Executive Director of Avalon Music Academy in Holland, our guest this morning on our Monday Local Business Spotlight. Rich, thanks so much for spending time with us today.
So great to be here. Thank you, Dan.